You're listening to the Life Like You Mean It podcast, episode number 25. Have you ever received a second chance in life? Maybe it was a second chance at love, friendship, or in your career. What about your mental health? Have you ever had something life-changing happen that caused you to literally change your life? Today we're talking about the second chances or revelations you can have through depression to drive you through not only your own recovery, but in making a difference in the lives of others. My guest today, Yajna, a Swedish artist, singer, songwriter, and businesswoman, has led an extraordinary life. From her teenage snowboarding career, her event producing in the action sports scene where she produced events for women by women, to touring Sweden in a gospel choir and starting Women Worldwide, a company in Cape Town that helps local women start their own businesses through making clothing and bags out of plastic bags and recycled materials. Not to mention her singing career, documentary filmmaking, her own record label, and her annual event, Feminominal, the first African cultural event with only females on stage. Seriously, this woman is incredible. Yajna's entire mission is based on helping others out of depression and unhealthy relationships. That's because after her divorce left her a single mother, Yajna fell into not only a deep clinical depression, but into psychosis. She went through electro-convulsive therapy an astounding 6 times. To say she was on death's door is an understatement. Yajna had to literally pick herself up off the ground and put back the pieces of her life, rising like a phoenix. And that's exactly where her inspiration came from, and is the title of her first single, The Rising Phoenix. From ashes into fire, stronger than ever, and with a message of hope, love, and power, Yajna is here today to share her story and her tips for coping with that negative mantra in your head, causing all your self-doubt. I've had a lot of powerful and inspiring guests on this show, each of which elevating the show and its message to a new level. And today we rise again. This episode and Yajna herself is an absolute game changer. Whether you've suffered clinical depression or psychosis before, perhaps even now, or you can relate to what it feels like to be at rock bottom, you can't afford to miss this episode. So, let's dive right in and let you meet my friend, Yajna.
You're listening to the Life Like You Mean It podcast, where we firmly believe that you, and only you, have the power to make the changes you seek in your life. Survivor of 10 years of child abuse, Lisa Sabanyas, will help you to empower yourself to overcome your limitations in whatever form they take to build the life you truly deserve. It's time to hear from fellow experts who know firsthand what building a successful and satisfying life because of our past experiences is like, and exactly what it takes to do it. If you're ready, willing and able to get honest with yourself, roll up your sleeves and get your hands dirty with the hard work that lasting change takes, you're in the right place. Here's your host, NLP practitioner, speaker, Reiki master, author, and chipaholic, Lisa Sabanyas.
Today's episode is dedicated to yogadownload.com, a fantastic website providing so many yoga videos to download, it's almost overwhelming. Those that know me know that yoga is a big part of my life, and it has been now for a couple of decades. I first found yoga like a lot of people. I was looking for something to help me stay fit while calming my mind. I soon discovered that yoga was so much more than that. Being a survivor of child abuse meant for me that I had detached myself from not only the abuse and others who could hurt me, but even myself. Yoga was the very first time that I could feel some discomfort and not panic. In fact, feeling that discomfort gave me strength because I also realized I had full control. I could ease further into the pose or I could back off until the discomfort lifted. It was the very first time that I felt empowered, and it was a decade after leaving my abuser. I was hooked. Now, I know a lot of people don't have the funds or the time to head out to a yoga studio a few times a week, and while I do recommend that that is the greatest way to start your yoga practice, this is a perfect solution if time and money is the deterrent. Head on over to my website, lifelikeyoumeanit.com/yoga, to read more about yogadownload.com and even learn my personal favorites. That's lifelikeyoumeanit.com/yoga. And welcome, Yajna, to our show, the Life Like You Mean It podcast. Thank you so much for being a guest today. How are you doing?
I am doing so well. Thank you. And thank you so much for letting me being on your podcast. I'm so excited.
Oh, well, it is such a pleasure. I want to dive right in and talk about your divorce that you had 3 years ago and how that ended up affecting you, because you became a single mom, but it's much, much bigger than that, isn't it? It's had such an effect on your life. And I think the audience would really gain a lot from understanding that.
Oh, yeah. As you say, it was 3 years ago when I had my divorce after being married 14 years. So we have two kids. Like now I'm a single mom. And what happened was 14 years, it's like a lot of love, but still it was a very challenging marriage with for me, I kind of forgot about myself, who I was, what I wanted to do with my life. I was very much just thinking about what my husband wanted to do at the end.
Right.
So I was kind of not weak minded, but I had forgotten so much about myself. So when he left me, I was a wreck. I just fell deep down, but it was a slow like journey into a deep depression, because that's nothing that happens just overnight. That is something that it happens because you've been through things in your life. So what happened after my divorce was I was trying to just saying to myself like, this is not happening. I was like neglecting the fact that he was leaving me, because I was so trapped in this thought of being like, this family, a mom and a dad and their kids living happily ever after. But that was just in my head, like a fairy tale. So what happened to me was that I slowly got sicker and sicker, because I didn't sleep in like half a year. I couldn't eat, so I lost so much weight because I was so sad and so sick.
Oh,
And all
no.
that all that lack of sleep, and I couldn't eat, that led me into this depression that was in such a dark place. It was black, it was all black. And by the time that I was in my sickest state of mind, I also went into a psychosis, because my mind was malfunctioning.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And that is, I don't wish anyone to be in that darkness, because that was really deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
So,
did you get over that?
um, to be honest with you, it was y- as a mother, I always knew inside that I love my children, because I'm their mother. I know that I have so much love for them, and they needed me. But when you're so depressed, you don't have any feelings. You get numb. You become like a shell of yourself, like a shadow of yourself. So I always kept a picture of my children with me to remind myself that your children needs you. You got to be strong. You got to overcome this for your children, because you love them even though you don't feel it now. And also music started to come to me in my depression. I started to get like notes and melodies in my head
Right.
that kept my mind focused. But at a certain point, I was so sick. I was heavily medicated as well with like antidepressives, anti-psychosis medicine, and I became suicidal.
Oh gosh.
I lost the will to live.
Right.
Yeah, and I
Because
didn't
when you're
want to
in
die.
that darkness, you can't see a
Yeah,
way out, can
it
you?
no, no, no. It was just darkness, and it's not that I didn't want to live. It was just that I didn't want to live that way,
Right.
because I've always been a happy and very positive person, outgoing. And for me, I got trapped in my mind. Like, I was thinking the same things over and over again. So I was like trapped in this darkness. I couldn't get out of it. Um, so said to myself, like, you don't want to live this way, but you don't want to die. But I became like losing the will of wanting to live. So
Right.
I actually I was seeking professional help to get
Ex-
better. Yeah,
Excellent. Yeah.
yeah, and that helped me so much, because I knew that I couldn't do this on my own. I needed
Yeah.
professional help. Yes.
Yes, yes. That is so important. And there's so many different types of therapy out there as well. I know that, there's often times where people will say, I'm one of them. I tried
Mm,
traditional therapy so I've got a background of surviving child abuse. And
exactly. Oh
I
yeah.
tried I
Oh.
tried therapy a few times growing up in my teen years and then again in my
Mm,
20s. But traditional therapy for me just
mm,
wasn't the best option for me. And there weren't any other
mm,
options that I was aware of at the time. And so when therapy wasn't working, so to speak, air
mm.
quotes included, it made me
Yeah.
feel like I was so broken that
Oh.
even the thing that's
Oh.
designed to fix you can't fix you.
Oh
But
yeah. Yeah.
now, especially in this era when we've got access to the internet and everything, right now
Mm.
there's so many different types of therapy
It
that,
is.
what works for one person isn't going to work for the next 10, but there are 10
Mm.
other things that will work for them. So,
Yeah.
if you go to a traditional therapist and you don't find
Mm.
that you resonate there, then go and
Mm.
find, some other type of therapy. There's cognitive behavioral therapy. There's all
Yes.
kinds of different
It
therapies.
is. It is. Yes. And it's just as you say. And in my case, since I was in a psychosis, that is
Mm.
nothing that you can like just get out of yourself
No.
like that, because I was I kind of died many
Yeah.
times. I stopped breathing a lot of times, because my
Wow.
body didn't it didn't work anymore, and it was so broken. So I had like ambulance coming, because my mom was with me and my family, and they were like, I told my mom so many times, like, I'm dying now.
Oh
um
gosh.
so yeah, so it was really hard, and I couldn't stay with my kids, because I didn't want them to see their mom in this like bad shape.
No.
So even though I was really sick, I could still cope with my mind, kind of. But what happened to me was that uh, I didn't get well by medicine, and this state that I was in, it wasn't working with like therapy or any like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually had to have electrical convulsion therapy.
Oh yes, I've heard of that.
Yes, yes. And that wasn't my choice. That was chosen by the doctors,
Right.
because since nothing worked on me, and
Right.
they could see, like, if she continues this way, she's gonna die.
Yes.
Yeah. So I had 6 of them.
Wow.
Yeah. But that was I'd say, like, honestly, the worst time in my life, being there, having those treatments, because that's not something that you like. This is at the end of the road. Like, this, nothing is
Yes.
working. Then you got to find, like, okay, this can work, and it did.
Yep.
Yeah, it
Thank
worked. But
goodness it did.
yeah, thank goodness. But I would say I have a very strong mindset, and like, my power within me, my inner strength,
Yep.
helped me so much. And like I said before, the love for my children always kept me motivated to, you gotta be well, you gotta get well for your children. And
Yeah.
also, I believe in God. I mean, there's something out there bigger than what we can see. It's not that it's just like, whatever there might be, I think someone is watching over you.
Yep.
Um, and you just got to see it and believe in it, whatever you believe in,
Yeah.
and in yourself, like believe in yourself because you are here for a reason.
Yes. So was it
Yeah.
after that treatment that you started to, because you obviously you said that you weren't feeling anything really, but you knew that you did
Mm.
have a love for your children, so you kept their images around you so that you would remind
Mm.
yourself of that. When did self-love come into the picture? When did you get reminded of your importance and your value?
Yeah, that is actually an amazing story because when I got out of the hospital after my treatment, I don't remember, like, there are a lot of weeks that it's just I don't remember anything at all. But that happens when you have that treatment. And what happened was I was actually back working just like 4 weeks after I got back from my treatment, and that was
Oh,
like a
wow.
miracle. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Everyone was like, all the doctors were like, This is not happening. Like you were almost dead," because I was like dead,
Yeah.
and now you are back working 100%. Like, and I was doing more better results than ever, and it was just because one day when I came home and I just had like an epiphany that I just had a feeling like, oh my God, I'm like the phoenix. I'm a rising phoenix. I'm actually, because I started to feel like power within myself because I was looking in the mirror and like, you don't need, because I thought that I needed my husband to be someone.
Right.
And now I just looked in the mirror and said to myself, like, you don't need anyone else to be happy.
Yes.
You just need yourself. You got to love yourself because that's where it all starts. Because you have
Yes.
yourself for the rest of your life. You got to be your best friend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got
So,
goosebumps, and I love
yeah.
this rising phoenix. And you've
Yeah.
turned this whole rising phoenix into
Yes.
your work, haven't you?
Yes, that's what I done. And I felt at that moment that, oh my God, I rose from the ashes like a beautiful bird into this phoenix, into fire, and with so much strength. And I felt like no one will ever bring me down again. Nothing brings me down. Whatever comes in my way, I'm going to put it into something positive instead because that's the mindset that I got to have now. That is me now, the new me. I had like a second chance in life to turn my way of living into. I've always been positive, like I said, but I got the second chance to start all over again. So I took the opportunity and made it into my now business,
I
my
love it.
passion.
I
Yeah,
love it.
thank
And
you.
tell us more about this business, about this passion of yours.
Oh,
Because
yes.
you've had such a really outrageously fascinating career, really.
Oh, yeah.
When you look
Thank
at it
you.
on paper, you were a
Yeah.
snowboarder as a teenager,
Yeah.
and then in the action sports scene. I mean,
Mm.
you're just the coolest person. Now you're into music, and like it's just like what hasn't
Oh,
she done? So
oh, thank you.
so tell us more about this actual business
Yeah.
and how you've taken this whole concept of this rising phoenix and incorporated it in
Yeah.
what you do.
I'd love to tell you all about it because, okay, I've actually grew up in a family of musicians, and so music has always been like a big part of my life. I know so many out there can relate to music. If you hear a certain song, you get like goosebumps, or you actually feel happy, or you be reminded of someone you love, or whatever. So
Yeah,
music has always been in my life, and as a child, I was dreaming of being an artist. So it's like everyone has their own story. Mine was just that I was always into singing and doing music and dancing like happy child. And I was performing as a child, like writing music as like when I was 10, I was making my first song with my little sister as a background vocalist.
oh, I love it.
Yeah, I remember the song still.
Oh
So,
my gosh.
yeah. And my mom, she's a composer and she always worked in the church as an organ player. So I was performing in the church a lot, in the choirs and all that. So I started a gospel choir with my mom when I was 15 because I love gospel. And we were touring for many years, and a lot of love stories has gone through that choir, like people meeting and
Yes.
getting, yeah, you know how it works.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, but after a while, I've always been into action sports because I have so much energy, and I love action. So I've been snowboarding, horseback riding, riding dirt bikes, skateboarding, surfing, and all that. So I went to a snowboarding school to become a professional when I was, yeah,
Well, I
when
went
I
to
was,
the snowboarding school to become a
yeah,
professional.
yeah,
Love it. Yeah, that's what
yeah.
it
That
did.
what I did, and I was always like doing all the crazy stuff, like riding half pipes and big jumps. But what happened was one day, like at the practice, I was riding without my helmet, and I had a very bad accident,
Oh my
ending up
gosh.
at the hospital with a really bad concussion.
Oh,
Yeah, so I was hospitalized for a week,
oh
and I
no.
couldn't do any practice for like months because my brain had to recover.
Right.
So at that point, I had had like 3, 4 bad concussions by then. So the doctors told me that you better be careful now because you don't know what will happen with the next one.
Mm,
So I decided to become an entrepreneur and
right.
to get, yeah, and to get like into the action sports scene and doing things for women because the action sports scene is really man dominated.
Yes.
So I've had so much experience like being a snowboarder, and I've been, snowboarding with guys, with females, and being to a lot of competitions. So I kind of knew what was needed for the women scene out there. So I actually started a company called In Action with 2 of my friends, and we did action sport events for women by women. So
I
we
love
wanted
it.
to, yeah, good. I love it that you love it. We wanted to create a platform for females to connect with others and to get into sponsorships. And we did like amazing events and competitions and camps and a lot of stuff. So we had a great breakthrough because this was like the only thing in action sports scene by that time for women by women. So we kept going for a couple of years, and then after some years, I became a mom, and then I was 100% focused on being a mom. Like
Yeah.
the music, kind of, I put it aside, and also the action sport business, I put that aside, and I was snowboarding still, but I was really like into being a mom, like the perfect mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, and I've told you about the relationship and all that. So what happened was this Rising Phoenix story that I came up with after my divorce, and I like got strength out of it was that I've always been into animals. I love animals, and I've had like birds when I was younger. So for me, the bird is like a sign of freedom and a sign of power because you see the big eagles, they fly and they're free. So this phoenix was very much for me to just feel free and to feel like I'm powerful because I am this strong, powerful bird no one brings down.
Yes.
And that was actually when I received my first song in English uh, after just a couple of weeks because I had a bad experience at work. They were trying to bring me down because I was so happy, and people have a hard time to cope with that sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah, like if you're very happy and they see that you are successful, some people just want to bring you down. But
Yes.
I told myself, like, no, you are the phoenix. No one brings you down. I'm going to work even harder. I'm going to be even better. And then this song came to me, the lyrics just like floated as water in my head. So I was just writing them down. My mom was here, and she's a musician, so she could see my like enthusiasm, my passion, and I just came up with this amazing song, Rise in Phoenix. And I said to my mom, "Mom, I wrote my first song in English. This is like, this is me. This is my story." And then I started to realize this is what I'm aimed to do. This is my mission. I want to tell my story to others, to inspire others to follow their dreams, listen to their inner you, and like find inner strength. So I came up with this trilogy about the rising phoenix that tells my story from my deepest darkness into my rise as a phoenix.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I can feel the power behind that. It's so great.
Yeah, thank you. And it all just, became, what do you say when rings on the water? Um, and I started to say to myself, yeah, you're going to start your own record label because you're going to release it this independently. So I did.
Oh my
And
God.
and I told myself like, okay, Sweden is a lovely country, but your music, you have to record it in London. So I went to London
Oh my
and I
gosh.
got a lot of connections there. So I started to record in London. So now I record all my music in a lovely studio in London, and that's
That's
I was
amazing.
yeah, it is. And like when I came to London, I was because no one knew me there from the beginning, so they got to know me as this strong, powerful artist, the rising phoenix. So I just felt like so free when I came to UK and to London. Like I was accepted for being just me, you know,
Yes.
the art. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like I didn't have to explain much. I just said, I'm an artist, I'm a singer songwriter. Everyone else was, yeah, cool, we love it, you have amazing music. So I was like, wow, I'm actually an artist now, you know.
That is so great. It sounds like you are really being true to yourself, and people
Yes.
really appreciate that. They notice that, don't they?
Yes. And I know now that it's actually when you believe in yourself, people will
Yes.
believe in you because they
Yes.
feel as you say, you're being true. And your story that you're telling, they just want to be a part of it because they can feel the power within you. And this is just like I call this the movement. It's like a movement, Rising Phoenix.
Yes.
And I want just as many as possible to join it and just feel, inspiration. And I can give so much energy because I, like in everything that I do, I just get like more and more ideas, and I feel more and more inspiration because I have so many people reaching out to me like, oh wow, I love what you're doing, I love your music, or whatever there might be. I just, if I touch one person, that's enough for me. I mean, that's enough.
Yes. Yes, I think so many people that are in various lines of work that they want to make a difference in the world, and that's a real
Mm,
driving force, right? It's like if
it
you reach just
is.
one person or you reach a million people, right? Obviously, the
Yeah.
more people you reach, it's amazing, but even
It
just
is.
positively affecting one person's life,
Yes,
especially when you know what it's like to be in that dark place, right? To be able to
exactly. Yes.
positively affect somebody and help
Mm,
them to empower themselves to climb out of that darkness in
exactly.
whatever way that you're able to do that. There's
Mm.
there's nothing greater than that, is
No,
there?
no, no. No, 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 it's not. This is so great. And what I feel is that the way that I think now, like I wake up every morning telling myself, you are amazing. And today is going to be the best day in your life. And I always, every person I meet, I see every person, like every person is here for a reason. And just giving a smile, a friendly word, listen to someone's story, like holding a hand, helping someone with a bag over the street, whatever there might be. Like it's like superhero things, just in the small things in life. And for me now, like I've actually have my own business, my record label. I do music videos now. I do documentaries. I have a documentary about my life. That's
Wow.
yeah, a friend of mine. He's a director.
That's
Yeah,
so cool.
yeah, because I have a friend, he's a director. He met me in London and I told my story to him and he was so fascinated. He said, I want to make a documentary about you, what you've been through and like
Yeah.
what you, now that you are, living your dream. So we've been filming for 2 years and now the documentary has been sent to over hundreds of film festivals all over the world, and it's called Women or Extraordinary Human Spirit. So
Wow.
I'm telling my story and showing my kids like where I came, my story, where I come from, and letting
Yeah.
them know like their past, like where I come from and stuff like that. So I do, like I said, music videos, I do documentaries, and now I'm soon launching a jewelry line
Oh,
with
wow.
yeah, and it's all about the message of empowerment and positivity and inspiration. So it's going to be Yajna, and it's going to be different launch, like the phenomenal line or the Rise and Phoenix launch, and so on.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So
Love that.
yeah,
Can't
thank
wait
you.
for this.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
so excited to actually launch this jewelry line because it has the message of freedom and power.
yes.
And I'm gonna actually donate money to. I gotta find a lovely organization that fits into, you know,
Yes.
everything about Rise in Phoenix to actually, give money to a great organization out of the profit. So this is not just selling things. It's just a movement. I want to show
Yes.
people that whatever you put in your mind, you can do it because you are amazing. You are phenomenal. That's my own word.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
you are
good.
phenomenal. And yeah, so I just believe in that as a woman, and for all women worldwide, especially for women, we gotta, you know, understand and tell us that like we are stronger together.
Yes.
And
This is the perfect spot to take a quick break to talk about yogadownload.com, a website bringing you a huge range of yoga videos for you to download and enhance your home practice. I have a few favorite videos like the Yin Yoga for Self-Trust by Caitlin or the Yoga Ritual Evening Class by Mark. If you're like me and you love to practice yoga, or you're interested in getting started and finding out what yoga is all about, but you don't have the time to get to a yoga studio a few times a week, then this is a great solution. Head on over to my website, lifelikeyoumeanit.com/yoga, to find out more about this offer. That's lifelikeyoumeanit.com/yoga. This link can also be found in the show notes. Are you struggling with some areas of your life, disappointed that things have not turned out the way you had hoped or planned? Perhaps you're celebrating your successes in some areas of your life while really feeling you've missed the mark in others. If you've decided you are no longer comfortable with being unhappy and are ready to do the work at your own pace in the comfort of your own home to change your life to one where you feel confidently successful, fulfilled, and greatly satisfied, then my online mini course, Becoming Fulfilled and Satisfied with Your Life, is for you. Head on over to lifelikeyoumeanit.com/fulfilled to register for just £7.20 and crack open your workbook and videos to guide you every step of the way. You'll be tackling your beliefs, how to spot opportunities, and the powerful coaching tool, the Wheel of Life, all with the guidance of me, a qualified NLP practitioner, Reiki master, author, speaker, podcast host, and survivor of 10 years of child abuse. That link again is lifelikeyoumeanit.com/fulfilled. This link is also in the show notes. Far from a traditional planner, these planners help you overcome your weaknesses, focus on the positive, find and follow your purpose and mission in life, set exciting goals, and follow up on those goals. We all know that our outcomes and results in life are determined by our daily habits. These planners give you the foundation for success that you need to make you more likely to succeed at achieving your goals and reaching your potential. Seriously, they're that good. They have their original version, plus one for business, success, yoga, wellness, and parents. That's 6 versions to help in any situation. To learn more, go to lifelikeyoumeanit.com/planners. Once again, that's lifelikeyoumeanit.com/planners. This link will also be in the show notes.
It actually that can touch anyone. Anyone can relate to that. Like we are stronger together, and just spreading all these positive vibes and join this movement, we can achieve so much more than we haven't like dreamed of. Um, yeah.
There's
So now
power in numbers, and
it is.
there's power in understanding that you're not alone, that everybody's
Mm,
story is different, everybody's story is unique
mm,
because we're all unique. But at the
yeah.
same time, we all understand in our own different way for our own different reasons what it's like to
Mm,
be in a dark place, right? Maybe some of us haven't
exactly.
been in as dark of a place as where you were, but we've all been in
Mm,
our version of a dark place and had to make a decision of whether we were going
exactly.
to stay there and curl up in that blanket or whether we were going to shed it and find a way to
Mm,
crawl out, right?
exactly.
And so,
Yeah.
yeah, sharing your story just does
Mm,
so much for people out there to, who knows how many people will be listening to all the different ways that
exactly.
you tell your story, and they'll say,
Yeah.
some of them might even realize, oh my God, that's what I'm doing right now.
Exactly.
It
Yeah.
just,
I
some others
know.
will be, everybody will be at different phases of their awareness for where they are in this whole
Mm,
journey. But to just think,
exactly.
it gives me goosebumps that some people
Uh,
will actually be listening and they'll be right at that precipice, right at that moment
yeah.
of truth where that
Yes.
you had when you got home and looked in that mirror and said, "Oh my God, I'm a rising phoenix." Right? They're right
Yeah.
there. They're about to go. And maybe
Exactly.
listening to this is that thing that just pushes them over that edge and allows them to
Yeah.
have that aha moment.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about that. And just as you say, I feel now that I'm getting so much energy out of just knowing that my story can actually help others. And I feel so blessed and so grateful for that because the energy that I have, I'll share like gladly any given second.
Yeah.
And what I feel now is I want people to be able to watch this, like, because I have a series of documentaries that I'm going to be filming soon.
Yeah.
And also, I'm about to write a book about the same topic as the
Yay.
documentary. So, yeah, about like what I've been through. And then in a book, I can actually go deeper into details and people can move back and forth like in a book and
Yeah.
read it over and over again. And with that book I just feel like my story, I really wanted to go out there and help people to find inspiration to overcome things that they have in life, like it doubts of themselves, not having self-love, or not
Yeah.
feeling enough power, or just trapped in everyday lifestyle they don't want to be in, or whatever there might be.
Yeah.
And then I tell myself, like, if a person just decides to, yeah, maybe I'm going to change work, maybe that makes me feel better. If you do that and that makes you feel better, I mean, maybe that's just your answer. It might be whatever. And
Yeah.
for me, it's just that I'm doing all these things that I've been dreaming of all my life. And now I'm just making this into a movement where I now talk to you at this.
Yes.
So and I just want this to take me all over the world to bring this message that I have. And like, every story is unique. This is just my story, and I just wanted to help others in as many ways possible. Because
That's amazing. You're definitely doing that. You're definitely
oh,
doing that.
thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
and like telling through music, for me, that is my way of expressing myself.
Yeah.
And I love expressing myself both like in lyrics wise, the way that I write my lyrics, that I'm telling actually a story that I want you to be able to relate to. And
Yes.
then I shoot a music video to this track, so you can actually see what I'm thinking when I wrote this song. Like, I ride a dirt bike in one of my music videos just to show that you can do whatever you want. Like, do it. If you want to ride
Yes.
dirt bike, as like I'm a 43-year-old single mom, and
Yeah.
people go like, "Oh, you're really gonna go into business? Like you're 43?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it doesn't matter your age. It's just your
Yes.
mindset. If I want to start riding dirt bikes, I'll do it because I
Yes.
love it, and I feel beautiful whatever I do because this is me. I can do whatever I want."
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. So I'm curious because of course everybody has that voice that comes up into your head that starts to put in doubt in there, whether you're trying something
Yeah.
new or something like that. And you had mentioned about how you say these positive things to yourself in the morning, and that just made me
Mm,
wonder what what's your little routine of how you cope when that little voice starts to pop up for you?
mm. The thing is, I tell myself every time that I have doubts because that comes. I'm just human, and then I just tell myself like, you're just human. You gotta have these days. You know you're gonna rise up from this, and just let it be for a while. You can be sad. You can cry because crying or being sad, being angry, whatever, all the feelings, you need all your feelings. It's
Yes.
life is not just about being happy all the time, even though you would like it, but it's actually in the darkness where the stars are born.
Yes. Yeah, I
Yes, and
love that
also
expression. I love
yes, me
that.
too. I love that. And also for me, I believe so strongly in like the way I was experiencing. Sometimes you have to die just a little bit to be reborn.
Yes. Yeah, you
And
find your real true strength in
yes,
challenging times, don't you? You
yeah,
find out what you're made
exactly.
of. You find out
Mm,
exactly how strong you really
yeah,
are, right? I
exactly.
remember when I was first going through and shifting my mindset so that I didn't um I was getting rid of that mindset of I don't deserve better, I don't deserve
Mm,
happiness, that type of stuff from my
yeah.
abusive past. And I remember
Mm,
that in the beginning there would be times when that voice would come back in and I would
mm,
be angry at myself. I would feel like, oh no, I thought I was moving forward and now I'm moving back. And I would be really
yeah.
upset because I really thought
Mm,
that to be successful with this, I needed to never have those thoughts again. And that's just
mm,
really not the truth. I mean, there are still
no.
days today where in my
Mm,
40s that I can have those thoughts that come up. But now
mm,
I've done the work to look back at all of the challenging things I've gone through. And instead of
mm,
beating myself up about how I handled them at that time or that they
mm.
happened at all or any of that kind of stuff, I'm able to actually look at it again through different eyes and see,
Oh yeah,
wow, if I could get through
that's
that, I
powerful.
could get through
Mm.
anything. So when that
Yes.
voice pops up, I'm just
Yeah.
like, please, really?
Yes, I
Yeah,
know.
I
And
know I'm better
yeah,
than
yeah, yeah. Exactly. And
dying.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And what I if I ever get doubts, like really doubting my work or what I'm doing, like, oh my God, I'm actually because what I'm doing now is that I'm giving this my everything. Of course, my children will
Yes,
be always be my number one,
yeah,
but now my passion is this work that I'm doing. So I'm giving it like people have no idea. Hard work, and it pays off.
yeah,
That's just like truth.
yes,
What I say to myself is that no, you're the rising phoenix. No one brings you down. You can be sad. You can cry over things because life is like that.
yeah,
But you are worth all this because you have worked so hard to just be where you are right now. So you deserve this. You really deserve it. And people need you like your children needs you. You have a mission and you have a message. So I always go back to this rising phoenix. Like, Yajna, you are the rising phoenix. You got
yes,
to be above all this. Like, put yourself above it.
yes,
Like, what does this matter like in 100 years? Like, who gives?
yes.
you know, he gives a
Yeah.
rat's ass. Um, and I just say that to myself, like, because when you come to a certain, you level up yourself, kind of.
Yeah.
I and I've come to a state of mind where I feel like it's almost as I'm seeing things, as you said, with like new eyes,
Yes.
and like, um, because nothing really gets to me like. Life isn't, I don't see life as being hard. I just see life as a challenge that you do new things and you learn things all the time and you just get better. You kind of, as I said, you level up all the time.
Yes.
So that's my way of just coping, doubts or times of being a bit down,
Yes.
because that happens. But I always rise, because I'm a phoenix.
I love it. Now, I know for me in my transition, if you will, from
Yeah.
the old me that was very victimized and very
Yes.
negative and
Yeah.
the why me person to the person that I am now,
Mm.
which is the polar opposite of that. The
Wow,
single
amazing.
greatest thing that worked for me, I mean, there's loads of things I had to
Mm.
do and it was a lot of work, but I can easily say that the single greatest thing was forgiveness. And
Yes,
my
I
take
agree.
on forgiveness is
Yeah.
different from a lot of people's, but I'm interested
Mm.
in knowing what your take is on forgiveness and how important you think it is.
Yes, I'm so happy you say that, because I am exactly the same. Because
Yeah.
um, I actually have, okay, a surprise on my album that's gonna like close the Rise and Phoenix album.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I uh, I see it like this. It's so much power in forgiveness.
Yeah.
You find, because whatever people do to me, I forgive them.
Yeah.
I just say that I forgive you.
Yeah.
And
Uh,
there is so much power in forgiving someone or something, because then you can leave it behind and just move forward.
yes. Yeah,
And
you're free. It's like you with your
yes,
bird analogy. It's when you
exactly.
are in the murk of being angry with somebody and really it needs to be really important to you to hold them
Yeah,
accountable and to make
yeah.
sure that you're not moving forward because of what they
Mm,
did to you because they're so
mm.
bad or whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
like it's like taking that phoenix and putting it in a cage, a really small
Oh,
cage that the
oh
phoenix can
yeah.
barely even stand upright,
Mm,
never mind turn around, and certainly can't spread its wings. And so
exactly.
you're not punishing that person. That person
No.
has moved on. They've long
Yeah.
forgotten whatever it
Yeah,
is
yeah,
that
yeah,
they've
exactly.
done,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and I see, yeah, 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 and I see it like this. Whatever happens, like everything happens for a reason.
Yes,
That's my way of thinking,
yes,
and it's all connected. If you start like actually opening your eyes, you will see that everything is connected. It's
yes,
amazing. Like
yes,
it's so amazing. And for me, I always say to myself, like, this person didn't do this out of being like in a good state of mind,
that's
because
right.
uh, this person maybe wasn't feeling well, had a bad day, maybe lost a friend, or something happened in their life, and you are just in the way of this
Yes,
action at the moment. So I just tell myself, like, hey, you got to forgive this person. I do. I truly do, from the bottom of my heart. I
yes.
forgive, because there's so much power in forgiving. Like,
There is. Yeah, there
yes.
is. And
And
like I think you're bang on with that about I'm an NLP practitioner and
oh,
we've got these expressions that we
mm-hmm.
use or these sayings that we use, these beliefs. And
Yeah,
and the reality is that people are always doing whatever they do to have a
yeah,
positive outcome for
yeah.
them. right?
Exactly. Yeah, yeah,
For
yeah,
them.
yeah.
It's not
Yes.
about you. Whatever it is
No.
that they've done to you that's hurt
Mm,
you, they didn't
mm,
go in with the intention of hurting you. They went in for the intention of having a positive outcome for them. Even if
true.
that means they were in a really foul mood, something had happened to them, and yelling got them got that feeling off their chest. Right? They
Mm,
weren't trying to hurt you by yelling at you. They were trying to help themselves by just getting that off of their chest, right?
yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
exactly what you're saying. It's like they've got their own lives and they're operating based on whatever's happened in their day and in their whole past
Mm,
existence. And you're just there
yeah, yeah,
in that
yeah.
morning, in that moment. Like if somebody
Mm,
cuts you off in your car, they haven't cut you off in your car. They've
no.
tried to get
No, no.
ahead in that lane so that they could get to work
Exactly.
faster or they could
Yeah.
get the right exit or something. It had nothing to do with you. And
No,
it's
no,
the
no,
same
exactly.
thing with other big,
Yeah.
horrible things that happen as well when friendships break down, marriages break down,
Oh,
all of that
yeah.
kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
It's the
yeah.
same thing. They're
It
not
is.
trying to get you, they're trying to help them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I believe that so like really, really badly. And what I also think, like I said, that everything happens for a reason. Like a marriage, it doesn't break up because it's happy.
Yeah,
It breaks up
so true.
because it's unhappy, and
Yeah.
you're not vibing together. You are moving in different directions, and you are just maybe just hitting each other like rocks,
Yeah.
and continuing doing that will just tear you apart like
Yes.
badly.
You have to know when it's time to say,
Yeah.
you were an
Yeah.
integral part of my life,
Yeah.
and we went through several weeks,
Yes.
months, years, whatever it
Yeah.
was, where we were
Exactly.
vital to each other in our ability to
Mm.
grow and to
Yeah.
help support each other. And now that phase is done, right? We're no
Exactly.
longer growing together. We're no longer
Yeah.
supporting each other. And if we stay
Exactly.
together, we're actually going to hold each other back. And so there comes
Yeah.
a time when you have
Mm.
to respect that and say,
Word, sister.
it's time.
Yeah.
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 I'm divorced as well. I'm married for the
Yeah, I
second
can tell.
time now,
Oh wow.
which
Okay.
adore my husband. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
I'm
adored my
happy for
first
you.
husband,
Oh
and
yeah, you do.
just
That's why you get
they're not
married,
support.
because you
Yeah,
love each other.
exactly. Yeah, you
So I
don't
mean,
get
what's the problem?
married because
So
you hate him.
yeah, exactly. And Lisa, what I'm saying now, this is like, okay, what I actually do. You maybe people won't believe me now that I'm telling you this, because now you've heard my story, and
Mhm.
now I have so many feelings inside me. I feel so strong and powerful love. I
Yes.
feel like greatness. I feel, everything is so strong for me now. Like I'm so passionate about what I do. And you know what I do? I thank my ex-husband for leaving me.
Yes.
I'm thanking him because
Yes.
if he wouldn't have left me, I wouldn't be here where I am now, doing my music, doing the Rise in Phoenix movement.
Yep.
So I just say thank you so much for leaving me.
And that is
And
exactly what I share with my clients that
yeah.
have gone through abuse in their childhood or
Mm,
domestic violence or really big traumatic types of things like this.
mm,
And that's exactly what I say is you've got to get to the point where you can look back at some of these
mm,
traumas and recognize that you are where you are right now in this moment because that happened, not despite it, right? That
mm.
was the moment that changed the course of your life, and you've got
Yeah.
to find the positive things that are in your life because of that, right? You've got your music,
Yeah.
you've got this love and all of these emotions and feelings that had kind of gone
Yes.
dead inside, and you've got this
Exactly.
movement and this passion and
Yeah.
all of
Yeah.
these things, and you are on this path of helping so many people. I mean, countless
I
people,
love
men
it.
and women,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
and
men and
and
women.
all
Exactly.
of that you
Men
can
and
trace
women.
back
Yeah.
to that exact moment, right?
Yeah.
And it
I
was a crappy
exactly.
moment. It didn't feel good. You
Yeah.
wouldn't want to
No.
repeat it. You don't want to wish it
No.
on somebody else,
No, no,
but
no.
you can find the
Um,
power within it now. And that's the
yes.
difference between on your path of
Exactly.
healing and being stuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, the fact is, when I was in that marriage, I thought that I was happy. And I
Yeah.
thought that he was my soulmate forever and ever and happily ever after.
Yeah.
But it was really mentally challenging. So I can understand what people go through and they get blinded
Yes.
because they think that this is love, but it is actually not love.
Yeah.
It's so yes, I was struggling in that marriage, but I'm not blaming anyone. I'm just saying like we weren't a match made in heaven, and
Yeah.
he like the things that I went through, like in the marriage,
Yeah.
can now help me to relate to other stories and just,
Yeah.
be here and help. So for me, I'm taking all my experiences into something positive now.
I love
And
it.
yeah, and just being grateful and thankful for life and for life giving me a second chance. And for me also to be open your eyes and to
Yeah.
see everything so clear now.
Yes.
And like I can see my children, and I say to my children every day I love them, and I tell them like I want you to grow up as like independent, uh it's a boy and a girl, and
Yeah.
to be independent and to always look at life in a bright way and to challenge yourself and to always be true to yourself no matter what people tell you. Always be true to yourself, treat people with kindness, and if someone is treating you in a bad way, kill them with kindness. That's the
Yes.
only way to do it, you
Yes.
know.
I love it. Now, I'm going to put all of your links in the show notes so people can find
Yes.
you everywhere and make sure they don't
Ah,
thing with all
yeah.
of this that you've got going on with your music and movement and your
Oh,
documentaries and just all of
thank
it.
you.
But what is the
Yeah.
best way for people to be able to find you and everything that is going on in your life?
Oh, yes. Okay, I'm gonna give you two of my social channels because one is my
Sure.
website that is soon up and running because I have a new lovely website made by my PR team in New York.
Yay!
Uh, and my website is
Excellent.
www.yajna.se. Yes.
SE, lovely. For
Yes,
Sweden,
since
right?
for Sweden, so it's
Yep.
Yajna.se since I'm Swedish. And I would love for you to, look me up on my Instagram and follow me on my journeys and everything that I do. And I post a lot of positivity and pictures from whatever I do. And my Instagram is Yajna Music. So it's
Excellent.
just Yajna, Yajna Music.
Amazing. And I'll put those
Yeah,
links in the show notes and a
thank
few
you
others
so
for you
much.
as
Yeah.
well so people don't miss a single thing. Yaina, it has
Thank
been
you, Lisa.
such a pleasure. I am so
Oh,
honored that you're on the
thank
show and
you.
being
I am
so
honored.
open and honest about things that you went through. It really is going
Oh,
to make a big
yeah.
difference. So thank you
Yes.
so much.
Yeah, I'm so honored. And just I want to end by saying, like, if someone wants to listen to my music, you are free to listen to Spotify, whatever you want, because music is powerful. So I would love to share my message through my music.
Amazing.
So yeah,
Music
and
is powerful and
yeah,
so are
it is
you.
powerful. Yeah, thank you, Lisa. I'm so honored to be on your um, podcast and being on your show. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
You
And
are
thank you everyone for
welcome.
listening.
Yay!
Yay! Thank you.
Absolutely incredible. I'm not sure I can even muster the words to express how powerful and inspirational Yaina's story and message are. We are stronger together. Believe in yourself. Practice forgiveness. Help is out there. And my personal favorite, it's not about never having doubts ever again, but learning to deal with them quickly. Changing your perspective or mindset about life, your life, may seem impossible in this moment, but I assure you it's not. After everything Yaina has been through, she can use those oh so difficult times as comparisons to any struggle she faces now, knowing that she was strong enough to face and overcome those difficulties then. Nothing will ever compare. As she said, life isn't hard. It's full of opportunities. It's all about perspective. Thank you to my incredible guest today, artist, singer, songwriter, businesswoman, and the latest entry on my role model list, Yajna. As usual, you can find links to Yajna's website, social media, and her music in the show notes. Just go to lifelikeyoumeanit.com/blog. And thank you for listening to another episode of the Life Like You Mean It podcast. Now go make a list of 5 positive things you can say to yourself to start your day every day.
Thanks for listening to the Life Like You Mean It podcast. Head on over to the show notes for this episode and all past episodes at www.lifelikeyoumeanit.com/blog. If you love the show, leave a rating and review. Share that love by spreading the word. Post a link to your social media. Share it with your friends and follow or subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast hosting site. Thanks so much for tuning in. Until next time, remember to live your life on purpose by living life like you mean it.